In case you live under a rock, this week the wilderness was completely revamped and the wildy bosses were changed a lot with new, interesting, and incredibly valuable drops. Great update. But someone commented on a video of mine the day the bosses were released that they found bots at RTO, which is the new lower level version of Callisto. And for the first time ever, I was sent footage of a bot already killing these monsters on the day of release. The boss itself is pretty easy to kill, but it's still insanely quick for a script made to kill a boss in the wilderness within a day or so of the boss's release. And I know the Voidwaker pieces are still going for over 100 mil each. Some people were spending bills on it the day of release, and the wilderness weapon upgrades are still also worth at least 50 mil each. So the bots are definitely going to be cashing out since they were made so soon. That may be the incentive to make a bot so quickly. I mean, the boss mechanics are super basic and the rare drops are worth so much. I'm guessing as soon as PKers get bored of camping this area, these bosses will be mass botted if the rare drop prices stay relatively high. Obviously, this isn't like a public bot script. There isn't all sorts of information about the bot on screen, but I did verify it is 100% a bot. Now, there are definitely hidden bots in game I haven't caught yet. Every once in a while, a botter retires a farm and doesn't mind sending me footage of it and the loot they got, since they're not planning on using it again. And that's exactly what happened here. Someone reached out to me saying they retired this bot farm because it had fully tanked the price of the loot it was getting to 1 GP. I mean, these are items that go for between 50k to a million GP. Before we get into it though, let's talk about being healthy and saving time with Factor. Factor is a ready-made meal delivery service of chef-created meals that are fresh, never frozen, and designed by dietitians to ensure every meal is packed with premium science-backed nutritional quality. Factor's meals are updated weekly and include over 27 meals and 34 add-on options. And you can select your favorite meals or let Factor create your order based on your taste preferences and meal history. I love that I don't have to think about what I'm gonna eat or whether it's healthy or not when I have Factor meals in the fridge. I can literally just heat up and eat a chef-quality meal in 2 minutes. No prep, no cleanup. Here's the bottom line for me. When I don't have something super easy to make or I'm feeling lazy, I order takeout. But when I have Factor, I eat the Factor meal. It's cheaper, it's healthier, and it tastes great. And when I replace cooking with a Factor meal, I get 30 minutes of my life back every single night. So use code POGPUGGERJAN60 for 60% off your first box at strms.net/sirpuggerfactorjan60. Thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video. So what's this bot farm I've never been able to catch? Gnome Restaurant minigame bots. You're seeing footage of one of the bots on screen. The owner has hidden most of the information about it in the footage, but the minigame takes you all over the world delivering food to different places. I've gotten a couple tip-offs about it before, but it's really difficult to find the bots, as in any given world the bot is in one of a few dozen locations and only for a few seconds before it teleports somewhere else. But what about the loot of this minigame, and why did the botter retire it? Well, you can get gnome goggles, a gnome scarf, a drop of 5 grand seed pods, that's over 500k, mint cakes, and some herbs or uncut gems. At max efficiency, the bots could make between 1.5 to 2 million GP per hour. Except the rare item rewards aren't traded very much on the GE, but make up a bulk of the profits. So when the botter ran even 5 bots, in a few weeks he was dumping grand seed pods in the GE for literally 1 GP. Some of the collection log progress screenshots indicate one bot got 141 gnome scarves, which is over 70 mil worth of gnome scarves alone. The specific method for the bots to get so much GP per hour though involves doing only tasks to get the rare items, and that requires max delivery tokens, so each bot did easy deliveries, then only hard deliveries after the NPCs could be skipped. Also, the items that you need to deliver for the minigame aren't traded very much on the Grand Exchange, so the bots were literally programmed to make the deliveries as well. The good news is, the farm wasn't really scalable, so it was retired. An interesting insight into how botters choose what to bot. Have you guys ever heard of a bond dupe? Some very strange footage was sent to me. Let's unpack it. The clip starts with someone getting traded 600k, which is the difference they need to buy a bond. The bond is purchased and the player redeems it for membership. Or does he? He doesn't seem to notice the first time he tries and is actively in a conversation. So a few seconds later, I'm guessing, he doesn't realize he actually used it and uses it again. But again, the bond doesn't disappear. And that's when he realizes and starts freaking out. Instead of immediately using it over and over to get the unlimited membership he's stumbled upon, he hops worlds to see if it disappears. It doesn't until he uses the bond one last time in a new world and it disappears. The guy who sent me this seemed very nice and genuinely curious as to what happened. He didn't really abuse it, but I can't verify the authenticity of the footage. Jagex did not respond when I sent them the clip and a description. However, something about this sounded familiar, and I searched through the 16,000 tip-offs I've received over the past 2 years. I've actually gotten multiple emails about bond dupes or bonds not being consumed before, and every time I followed up, the senders didn't reply, which is suspicious. Let me know if any of you have ever experienced this. Maybe someone is doctoring footage for attention, but my guess is there are multiple bugs having to do with bonds out there. More background around the footage: this guy's membership ran out at the Woodcutting Guild, and all he did was run straight from Lumbridge to the Grand Exchange, get traded the GP for a bond. That's it. Of course the stakes are high. An account could have unlimited membership. Maybe it's unlimited GP. It seems like something might be going on. I got a tip about bots in full adamant killing monks in free-to-play worlds. Not something I normally spend much time on. None of them are even on high scores yet, and there are also level 5s just standing in a stack in most worlds as well in the middle of the monastery. But then I had an idea. What if I collect all the usernames and just wait and see what these bots are actually for? I mean, there's no way they're made to just kill monks. There's no GP in that. So I actually found them October 19th of 2022. That's over 3 months ago. And let me tell you, many were only banned recently. So I recorded a bunch of usernames, over 30 of them, as well as some of the level 5s idling. 3 weeks later, I looked them all up. They're all 40 attack, strength, and defense, but many also have over level 60 mining. Meanwhile, I also got a few tips about bots in full adamant training mining on the 3 iron ore spot just south of the Piscators fishing village. I go to investigate, and I'm pretty sure I found the same bot farm, now in members worlds training mining. Everything seems to check out. Another week goes by, I look them all up. Many are exactly 70 mining and seem to have stopped there. A couple accounts are higher than level 70 mining and have some fire making levels. A few weeks more, even the level 5s I saw now follow this pattern: 70 mining, 40 attack, strength, and defense. So before training on the monks, the bots idled in free-to-play in the monastery, probably collecting playtime, I'm not sure. The bots sit on 70 mining for well over 2 weeks, until eventually I look them up, and all of a sudden, many of them are over 80 mining, and lots of them have fire making levels. Have you guessed what the bot farm is yet? Blast mining bots. 1 to 2 in every world. Many with over 100 mining and 90 plus fire making, and most have over 85 mining. They also log out if you get near them. Many of the blast mining bots were banned within about 2 months of finding them in the monastery, and I reported all the rest I found that weren't. Many achieved well over 100 mining. Let's do the same thing with these pesky monkey bar agility bots in the Edgeville dungeon. What are they being made for? Most of them that are on the high scores have 30 to 40 melee stats, in the 30s agility, and about 60 magic. My guess is Zulra bots? A week later though, they have in the 60s attack, strength, and defense, 57 agility, and 60 magic. And to this day, I can still look up the original usernames I collected, and more than half of them are not banned over 3 months later. Their stats are now 70 attack and defense, 90 plus strength, and about 60-ish magic and agility. Their progression is actually very slow for a bot. In that time, many bots would be well over 99 in whatever they're training. I started looking into why they'd need around 60 agility, and the only thing I could come up with the stats they have is to access the Yanil dungeon. The monkey bars in there require 57 agility. Turns out there's a massive Chaos Druid bot farm in there. The stats seem to line up very nicely. Given the slow progression, these accounts must literally log in for 2 to 3 hours per day maximum. Most worlds have bots in them here, so the farm must be massive, like literally over 1,000 of these accounts that constantly rotate logging in and out to avoid ban, while honestly only making a few 100k GP per hour. I'll be reporting the usernames to Jagex as soon as possible. It's kind of weird that they're not banned. Now, don't go think Jagex is slacking. I tried tracking tons of different new bot farms, like the flesh crawler bots in the Stronghold of Security. I collected over 40 usernames, and within 24 hours they had already been banned. Or these bots that were woodcutting, fishing, and cooking in Barbarian Village and free-to-play worlds. Also, all of them banned within a week. Jagex literally bans millions and millions of bots a year. I'm just finding the ones that slipped through the cracks. A botter really messed up here. I got multiple tips about cosmic runecrafting bots, except they were all in the same world, World 330 and in Zenaris. It was pretty clear when I got there that the tips were right. Bots in full gear you get from Guardians of the Rift, many in the mid-level 80s runecrafting, a couple with well over 100 runecrafting. Most of the accounts also use an Amulet of Eternal Glory. They're 53 mil each. It seems very bizarre that bots are using Amulet of Eternal Glories. It's just a very expensive, unnecessary cost, especially if you get banned. I counted 10 of the bots on this one world, but I didn't find many on any other worlds. A miniature farm. 10 of them runecrafting at 650k per hour, which is what you get from Cosmics, means the bot owner is making about 6.5 mil per hour without actually playing. 14 plus hours a day, it's like 80-ish mil per day. So I reported the names to the anti-cheating team, and they tell me this small bot farm mules to a main account. So they think it's the main account's bot farm, not some crazy large operation, but a player who wanted more GP, and the main is the mule. So the main was banned with 4 billion GP on it. Using your main to mule, first of all, but then second of all, running all of your bots in the same world so they're super noticeable. If you think about starting a small bot farm, it's probably not worth losing your main account over. I just want to give a big thank you to the community for sending me so many interesting tip-offs. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're almost hitting 350,000 subscribers.